Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming here to the Joe Boo Sports Report. We have so many things that are going on with the Dallas Cowboys. It's kind of crazy because it seems like everything about the Dallas Cowboys is about taking something away, about losing a part. Other teams are looking at getting pieces. Washington ended up getting Carson Wentz. I tell you a funny one. I tell you a funny one that this literally has to make me laugh. That was posted on Twitter that I'm trying to remember who it was. It wasn't Todd Archer. Um, I got Ed Werder. Ed Werder posted this on Twitter and said he polled 8 GMs and 7 of them said they would take Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott because of his pocket awareness. Is that right? So you mean the guy who will now be on his third team in the third year, you're telling me that people would take him over Dak Prescott? You mean the guy who had 27 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions and did not have more than one touchdown pass in any of the last 6 games of the season and failed to make the playoffs, losing to Jacksonville? Okay. All right. Gotcha. Anyway, back to my Cowboys. Other teams are acquiring players. Denver says we're all in. We're going to go ahead. We're going to make the move and try and get Russell Wilson. The Rams are trying to re-sign Von Miller to $14-16 million. Bring back Odell Beckham Jr. And maybe heard a rumor that Gronk could end up with the Rams. They're clearly trying to get better. The 49ers are trying to get Bobby Wagner as well as the Cardinals. We have the Chargers trading for Khalil Mack, trying to buster their defense. Other teams are adding to their team. We are basically deconstructing ours. So, interesting take here. We heard earlier, a few hours ago, that teams were interested in trading for La'el Collins. La'el Collins, I pointed out at the end of the season that one of the two have to go between Tyron Smith and La'el Collins. You have to replace one of those guys with somebody who is going to be more stable. Both of them missed 7 games last year. Both of them missed pretty much all of the year before. La'el Collins missed all of last year. Tyron Smith played 2 games. They both missed 7 games. You can't look and say, we're going to pay between the two of them $25 million, and both of them have missed more games in the last 2 years than they played. Just can't. And that's where I said, I'm okay if you keep Tyron Smith, but then you need to replace La'el Collins. I'm okay if you replace Tyron Smith and you keep La'el Collins and make him a guard. The interesting part about this is originally teams were calling not so much about La'el Collins, but calling about Terrace Steele, which makes more sense. I dare say that Terrace Steele is, if everybody's healthy, he's our third best offensive line. Zach Martin, Tyron Smith if he's 100% healthy, and then Terrace Steele. I honestly believe the Cowboys' offensive line, from the time they took Terrace Steele and put him at left tackle and brought La'el Collins in, was the beginning of the end of the offensive line playing and doing great things. So, here's the thing. Terrace Steele, you would actually rather get because he's on his rookie free agent deal. He's dirt cheap. He's younger. Hasn't had any injuries. And you look at him and say, there's a lot of upside with him. The Cowboys originally signed him as an undrafted rookie free agent. There was no intention of him hitting the field last year, but because La'el Collins had hip issues, he couldn't get on the field. But I dare say that he's my starter at right tackle. La'el Collins is not my starter at right tackle. The only way La'el Collins, if I am the GM or the coach, is he's starting at right guard. That's it. He's starting at guard. But if the Cowboys can trade him and get something for him, hey, that's a lot better than releasing him. You get the cap relief. You can go out and try and replace him, maybe with a free agent that's less money than the $9 million or $10 million you're paying him, and you get a draft pick. Now, what kind of pick are you going to get? I don't know. But seeing Khalil Mack getting, a second and a third or whatever, for whatever reason, when the Cowboys trade somebody, if we actually trade somebody, we don't get very much for it. We just don't. Other teams seem to get a king's ransom. Maybe we just sell ourselves short. Or maybe it's because we trash the guys before we get them out of here. Carson Wentz, we didn't hear all the stories about his leadership lacking and so on until after he was traded. The Cowboys do the other thing. Now, I'm going to ask a dumb question. Maybe the reason the Cowboys have issues is it has nothing to do with Jerry Jones being the GM or Stephen Jones being the money man or anything else. That maybe it all points to one thing, and that's karma. I believe in karma. I try and live my life in the service of others, so to speak. I try and give back. I try and do good things. Not that I have the money that Jerry Jones had. Maybe Jerry Jones is doing it right because whatever he's doing has made him tons and tons of money. But I believe that money doesn't always buy you happiness. It buys you a lot of nice things that you can enjoy, but it doesn't necessarily make you happy. Because in life, it's the journey, it's the relationships that you have, it's seeing your kids grow up. I'll be 100% honest with you. I struggled as a single parent raising Michael and Michaela. I had a flesh-eating bacteria, almost died. Spent 6 months basically learning how to walk again. Lost a job that I enjoyed. And being that single parent and not having the money that I needed to really take care of them, it was hard. I don't know that I'd be here today if it weren't for my kids and knowing that I had to succeed to make sure that they had an opportunity. And I remember a low point in my life that I was just like, man, I can't do this no more. It was my daughter. I don't know if she sensed this or what, but she literally came to me and she sat on my lap and she gave me a big hug and said, Dad, you're the best dad in the whole wide world, and I love you. And it was that moment that I realized it's bigger than me and my issues. It's about them. And no matter what I have to do it for them. And that's a joy that I carry as I see my kids grown up and taking care of themselves and being solid citizens. That's a joy that no money could ever make up for. So enter the Cowboys. 26 years ago, we won our last Super Bowl. And since that time, it just seems like things happen for no rhyme or reason. We get crazy penalties against us and things like the catch, no catch. How do you explain that? You get, the Cowboys take the lead against Aaron Rodgers in the great comeback. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock, and somehow Aaron frickin' Rodgers, miracle play where they're holding like crazy and everything else, and they end up winning the game. You look at playing at home, with the team that was number one in offense, going against the San Francisco 49ers, and somehow we end up having not enough time on the clock to get the final play. It's kind of like we get teased, get close, and then it's just snatched away like, we're going to let you get there. Got you again. And I believe it has to do with karma. I think about 26 years ago, what happened? Well, actually 27 years, 28 years. Jerry got rid of Jimmy Johnson. Back-to-back Super Bowl champions. I'm not going to say Jimmy Johnson built the team by himself. I'm going to say it was collectively an organization functioning together. A coach who saw talent, know what he wanted, and an owner who would make sure that he brought it there for him. That was a partnership. That was the way it was supposed to be. They built this together. But for whatever reason, Jerry Jones's ego got in the way. Got in the way and took it from us. He got another Super Bowl after his famous, with the team I put together, any number of 500 coaches could win the Super Bowl. Yeah. They won that Super Bowl not because of Barry Switzer, but in spite of him. And it seems like Jerry Jones is going through all of those 500 coaches trying to get another one. Karma. I believe it was that move right there that the football god said, nah. Then there was also Rowdy came about. Not that I'm saying Rowdy's a jinx, just saying. He then got Rowdy. But think about it. We find out that Jerry Jones has a daughter. Now, this daughter wants the paternity suit thrown out. There's a hearing March 31st. And not that she wants it for, she's saying for more money. She's not looking to get more money. She wants the name. She wants to be known as Jerry Jones' daughter. So Jerry did the thing, he took care of the mother and the daughter as a trust fund. So she's been well taken care of financially. Just hasn't been able to claim him as the father. And she wants it to be known that that's her daddy. I can understand that. And having raised my kids, Jerry, you missed out. You truly missed out on the joy of having the kids. But could it be that the karma between firing Jimmy, firing Tom Landry, being so arrogant and saying that any number of 500 coaches could win the Super Bowl, and hiring Barry Switzer and having the child out of wedlock? And the kicker for this year to me is being at the Hall of Fame. That was, I know not too many people paid attention to it and all that, but that was a trip that will change me for the rest of my life. Seeing all of my childhood heroes from, Bob Lilly and Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett and, Drew Pearson and Jimmy Johnson, all of those guys in one place together, being at the after party for Drew Pearson. It literally, that is the Cowboys royalty. Charles is even there. Seeing all of those greats. Being at the Hall of Fame, Jimmy Johnson's moment to shine. Him and the other players that were all elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But for Jerry Jones to try and steal the limelight from Jimmy Johnson there, and literally writing a check that he did not cash or wasn't able to cash. Literally being at the Pro Football Hall of Fame and saying, Jimmy, we're going to put you in the Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor is nice. Don't get me wrong. Great players that are in the Ring of Honor. But I hate to say it, Jerry, being in the Ring of Honor pales in the comparison of being elected and going into the Hall of Fame the week that you're going into the Hall of Fame. That Jerry's ego had to steal some of that thunder from Jimmy Johnson. And then to say you're going to be in the Ring of Honor and then not do it? Yeah. Karma. I think it's a lot stronger than we give it credit for. I thought for sure what would have been a perfect moment, a bridge between the past and the present, to get a little extra excitement and mojo going, to have put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor, going against the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. That might have been the thing that turned the karma around and maybe have given the Cowboys the edge to actually won that playoff game. I'm probably crazy. I'm just stupid, grasping at straws. But I honestly believe karma has a lot to do with the situation that the Dallas Cowboys are in. So, that's all I got for you guys right now. Thank you guys for hanging out poolside. I'm sorry, fish pond side. I'm just excited because spring's getting close. And I'm just happy to see my babies again. Hope you all having a great night. And I'll see you later. You know you will. Peace.